We do have Renegades starting over on the CT side. Virtus.pro on the attack first. Let's see what kind of an action we got going here. Bit of utility, some presence coming in towards the tunnels and long doors immediately. Renegades not really fighting this out towards long, so James actually going to be given this space for free. They go with a cat play instead. Aggressive control here. A smoke up for it as Inns looks for the player top mid. This might allow Yekindar through. He's just spotted a leg, just a hint of an ankle, but that will chase him back. And the catwalk players withdraw. A bit of damage on the kicker, but nothing more to show there. This is getting kind of interesting. Renegades losing the space early. They are going to need to win this catwalk fight. Otherwise, their players on site are going to be in for a world of hurt. Here comes the hit. Inns. He lives up to the video. He hits the first shot immediately. We're going to need some more of that, though.
Oh, yeah, and we are seeing a lot more action popping off right now. Over towards long is where those trades are going to be found. It is still VP, unfortunately, being left with the one-man disadvantage after just getting that 1-1, of course. Oh, no, never mind. Sanji's going to go ahead and snatch one up on the P250 just as I finish up that sentence. So, yeah, they end up in a 3-on-3. And one that they are a little bit favored in. You look at the health of Alistair. I'm not sure if they're aware exactly how low he is, but they find out there as the split is coming in. One more player towards Goose. That's going to need to step up big time. That is Inns. He already had 2 kills, but he can't add. And, well, although Sicko will get one, it was, of course, VP who were moving in together. They had to try and work to cross that bomb over. So, yeah, he was not going to be allowed to just catch 1 kill and get away or anything. Completely pinched in on, and there we go. VP with the opening pistol round. Renegades managed to pick up both pistols. Did they on that previous map? If I'm remembering correctly now.
No, I don't think so. I think Virtus.pro took the second one
Okay.
to take momentum going to the second. No, you're right. They did take both.
Yeah, I thought so. I thought they got off to the 2-0 start initially, right? And then VP managed to come alive, and then they also got a decent start in the second half. So, yeah, bit scary now that they don't even manage to pick up this pistol here on D2. But the double scout and eagle setup. Oh, and nades. Let's see.
I do love the scouts. Scout nades. This is a great setup for a force buy set. What you do is you get the scout sides, or you go in for the nades initially, so that these pistols and scouts are going to be able to soften up the targets. It's a tag and magnum approach, and Dust2 is one of those maps where the scout is just so powerful. Perhaps only Train is close in how effective that particular zoom banger is. Just the quick flick machine. Does seem like we're going to fall into a B tunnels hit here. 4 players funneling out. We just have kickers in the middle. An overwhelm of the car position. Sanji gets the kill ultimately, but now there's 1 player back at sight. Alistair will get 1, but the trade is instantaneous, and that's the bomb down, the round over. They still have the 2 scouts. They're going to back those right up, give themselves a chance at the next round. It is just a complete overwhelm. Players on site swept aside, and Virtus.pro taking the 2-0.
Yeah, as you said, at least they get to bring over both of the scouts, a deagle as well. They'll be able to try and input, or rather output a bit of damage in this following round also. Only 1 kill here, so really they'll be looking for 2 to 3 to really make it worthwhile. But we'll see if all the weapons will be carried over. I wouldn't imagine VP are really willing to hunt this one. They'll be happy to have the chance here to actually take such a clean second round, obviously. Build up a little bit of money for themselves. But are we going to maybe see something a little bit crazier from them? See the aggression on those scouts? Perhaps a boost up towards short could be a good idea. The boost even to catch someone around lower. Yeah, obviously not pushing straight into like a one-on-one on long house or something, but I would like to see them try something like the boost, as I was saying, over towards short, or even perhaps try and get one of the scouts up close on the long house to peek through. It could allow them to hold that aggressive and then maybe just leave the other scout even watching the short cross, and then you can stack the pistols on B even.
I know we saw a battle scout yesterday. I think it was out from NAF on overpass, where he just was charging all the way back through spawn by the scout using it like a shotgun. Not the most effective disposition from Sicko. Speaking of the battle scout, he was out on cat. He gets caught. Never gets to pop off a shot. And now A is right for the taking. Inns is going to burn a little bit as he tries to reposition. Doesn't manage to connect either. Damage has been done here. The Deagle finding some homes, but yet to find a kill. And that's what they need. Malta being whittled down here bit by bit. Can he get back around the corner? No. Just about caught. Bomb now down. This round over. Hats will recover the scout, but do they want to keep this into the next? What are they going to do with it? Certainly don't have any hope of winning this round. They might just force him, try and take some guns out of their opponent's hands, steal a rifle away. Looking unlikely. Alistair down to 7. Hats together with him, and the bodies are dropping. Unsuccessful round. Clean round for VP, though, and they're looking smooth through these first few. Now the guns come out, and we get a true test. We get to see where they're at. It's a bonus round for Virtus.pro. SMGs, Galils, all can be taken through.
Yeah, Hats going down there was probably the better outcome, to be honest, just so he goes straight onto the M4. Might have been tempted to keep the scout otherwise, of course. But yeah, as you mentioned, it is a bit of a bonus round coming in from VP, but even then, it's only 2 Galils that are going to be those weaker weapons. You have James straight onto the op, and yeah, this is not going to be an easy one by any means for Renegades. Boost up on the short, it's actually Sicko who puts up in, so they don't decide to get aggressive with the op in this one. Instead, Ins just drops that nade in and actually connects some pretty decent damage in the early moments. Might not be exactly aware, but he's heard those shots being rattled off from lower, so he does realize there's a possibility he could have connected that nade at least. But yeah, nothing too crazy from Renegades apart from that. Just gonna show a bit of presence, make a bit of noise around these areas, and ensure that when VP do start pushing in for short control or whatever, that they do at least have to be cautious and use some of those nades and expend time alongside that utility. Yeah, you can see that's happening. Molly up close on the mid doors as well, afraid that maybe there is someone still lurking around here. When Sicko actually is pretty aggressive.
I was going to say, this shot's going to be very important, what he has to do. And this is not where people usually need him. He's a little further back. It means he's not vulnerable to that particular Molotov, but he's a little bit more prone to getting overrun. He wants to hit this shot, and he wants to fall back towards the site. Unfortunately, he doesn't have a teammate with him. If he had one player with him to throw a flashbang, this would be a lot more secure. There's not really many flashbangs left available. Here's going to be a peek. Ins captures one. That's big, and they're actually falling back into this perfectly timed. There's the play from on top of the boxes. Hats gets one. Here's the trade coming through. Players are bouncing back and forth, and eventually Alistair bobbing, ducking, diving, dipping, dodging. He's going to find another kill. Just left the Jame and Yakadar. Yakadar kind of committed in. They're bunched up here with 15 seconds to go. They may just try and save these rifles. Backing out of the site tells me that that is indeed going to be the case. Knocking a Molotov in to discourage the chase, push a player out from the angle, and yeah, this is done. 5 seconds on. Do they survive, or does someone clock them after time? Jane, in particular, is quite vulnerable. But it's not going to happen. The guns do live to fight another day, and with it, Virtus.pro will be able to bring a very good play into the next. Renegades, though, they're on the board.
Yeah, no, Renegades knew that even if they took the weapons away, there'd probably still be a pretty solid buy coming out from VP either way. So yeah, it would have been a bit too risky to potentially drop a couple of their own weapons. Take the 5 alive, get all of the nades now behind that, and ensure you can replicate that round win to start actually building up some well to work with in the early moments. We don't want to see another one-sided one as we did back on Vertigo. Jame, though, early long control is going to be found. You can see the CTs are focused around short, and this time we do see the boost. Unfortunately, it's as there's already a player posted up from lower, but no, he took himself just off the angle beforehand. It's going to be the up dropping down as well as the peak comes back in, so they pretty much just about miss each other. A short aggression at least was spotted by VP, so you have to be careful if they were looking to move back in that direction. But with long already, they don't really need to rush getting towards that short control. Definitely could consider it, though. It's always nice to be able to pinch on towards that A-bomb site. If you're able to take both long and short, it is so difficult for the CTs to hang on, and especially difficult then to work back in for a retake. And yeah, they are actually just going to leave Jame in the pit for now.
They work out catwalk. That means pressure's going to be on for Ins. He's been good so far, but he's got to stand strong here. Teammates with him to throw some utility, but he gets blinded up and caught. And there's the follow-up kill as well as Malta tries to retake the space. A lot of damage has been done to Virtus.pro, but it's not going to much matter to the off. It's either going to be a shot or not. Alistair does take down Yakadar elsewhere. Sicko hits one, but can't get the second. Peeking back from Goose, he will be blocked. Now it's all on to Alistair. Doesn't have any real ability to fight back into this. They know where he is. He gets an upgrade. But on a 1v3, does he really want to attempt the clutch? Seems like the answer is likely no. And if he goes out towards long, this is accounted for. James ready. James in position. So indeed, it is just going to be Alistair backing his way on out of here. Trying to survive, living to fight another day with this AK-47. Virtus.pro get a 4th. And they isolate Renegades 1-round win.
Yeah, even with this AK, I don't think we're going to be seeing them with the ability to fund quite the full buy. So it is a little bit of a rough position to be in. And again, VP also live with kind of the minimum you want to be living with. Oh, yeah, they can maybe make it happen here. Drop over to either Sicko or Ins. maybe ins based on the performance that he had on the previous map. The Hats and Malta, well, Malta could just about pull out the buy, but he's gone for a deagle, so that immediately indicates that they're not looking to actually force up into this. And yeah, that makes sense. It's 4-1. They're not in a terrible position as of yet. It is a map that's a little bit biased over towards that T side, perhaps. So I don't think they're incredibly worried yet, but they do know that getting into this next gun round is when they do need to come alive. We'll see what can be done now. Oh, Alistair gets tagged up. They do have another player with Kevlar, at least, that he could maybe trade that AK over towards, but at the moment, Hats is chilling on B, so that's not going to be done right now. And again, long control pretty much being found for the T's. Never mind, it was only Sanji who was pushing out. He didn't have any backup, so doesn't want to stick around once that one player shows himself, even though it is only the deagle. There's more reason when you're on your own not to stick around, I suppose, not to give the weapon away.
Here comes the swing. Kicker gonna take the space, looking for the kill as well. In back smokes and mollies. He's gonna have to back the heck out. They might find out. Indeed, it does. That's quite a bit of damage coming through on 2 players. Softens them up certainly to maybe potentially take some down these. But the B site's been lost. Bodies are dropping all over the map, and at this point, it's another game of hide the AK. Bodyguard mode this time. They've got Sicko to test through the doors. He's like the canary in the coal mine, right? You just send him through, and if he dies, don't walk there. We're about to see the test case in point. He actually gets a dink. All right. Nice effort. That'll discourage James from hunting and might give Alistair the space he needs. The pace as well, I suppose, to keep his gun alive.
Yeah, hanging on to it, the weapon again. May as well. He was low since the beginning of the round. There wasn't really much he was going to be able to do. Doesn't want to risk giving away the op with that dink as well. As you said, that came in. He couldn't really afford to move forward. So there we go. An AK carried over. Alistair will probably just hang on to that himself. Everyone else is able to buy up. They can go on towards the double up if they wanted, but is that going to be the case? Okay, he actually just goes ahead and, yeah, gets his own lop rather. And the AK goes over the Hats. That makes sense. Okay, cool. Yeah, double up setup. A very good buy again from Renegades. As I said, though, this is the round where they need to wake up again. Otherwise, VP are going to be on path to potentially just running through this map and taking themselves that 2-0. And as we said, this is an elimination matchup. We don't want to be saying goodbye to Renegades already, but unfortunately, that is the circumstances of this game. One of these teams are going to be done for.
That was a meaty nade. It was a chunky nade. I do like the double up, though. We saw Alistair start to have some success with it on Vertigo. We start to see him come alive, and he's definitely a very capable offer. So, it's nice to see it in his hands. It's nice to see what he can do. Where is he playing with it? Because I heap all this praise for watching him right now. And there's the peak. Int's going to take it from Catwalk. There's another player down in towards the tunnel. Some damage has been done. Zekindar, the low player who is claimed. But Virtus.pro, they've got some control out towards long. Sanji has a foothold. The Renegades should be fully aware of this, and Sicko's actually looking for the fight. They're going to withdraw. It does look like they're going to try and press this long play. 2 ops towards this side of the map is going to make their life very difficult indeed. Actually, I lied. The second op is in towards mid. I don't know what I'm doing with these numbers here. I can't count Dean. But here's going to come to hit. Here's going to come to play. They're going to make their way out long. So Sicko is going to be the first point of contact, presumably. He's actually going to preemptively set up a smoke here to indicate a player being back on the ramp. So much time coming off the clock, 35 seconds. If they get slowed on approach, if they drop the bomb en route, they may not have enough time. And now a flank's coming in as well, as Ince has worked his way all the way around.
Yeah, a kill to delay this, and then Ince is going to be popping in from behind. He actually ends up being the first one to pounce. Finds Kickard, who was, well, was straying behind a small bit. Sanji pushing up as well. The flash is not effective. Sicko has a free shot and pops himself back into Gandalf. Well, this is safely for the moment. That will allow the bomb to get on the site. Even into the wall bag and then a nade. Played perfectly by Sicko. The bomb plant does go down, but I mean, that's not too big of a deal. VP already have a really strong economy. The main thing is they win the round, and again, they live with all of the players. This is how you need to be winning these rounds, but you need to capitalize on it and actually start chaining a bit together. It can't be just those sole rounds, just one every now and again. That's basically what we've seen on Vertigo as well. In the first half, I think they got the first 2 rounds. Then a bunch of rounds went to VP. Then we saw them crack back in with 1. Then again, VP took back control before Renegades were able to get a tiny bit more. That just can't keep happening.
Would you say we're talking about momentum here?
Oh, yeah, of course. But I mean, I wanted to put it another way. I wanted to kind of break down even how that previous game went, because it was a little bit more even than this. At the moment, they're on a slightly worse track. As I said, they were taking a couple of rounds in a row normally on Vertigo, and then kind of getting broken again, being left on an eco just because they were never building up money. But they are at least taking these good rounds, as I said, that they're winning very, very cleanly. And a fantastic start into this one now as they deny that long control. And, well, sit with at least a man advantage still, despite that trade back from Yekin there. The issue is now they've only one player on B, and actually VP are set up pretty quickly to try and exploit this.
They need pressure, but they've come out the top of long, so now they're going to have presence top mid. That's being looked for. James hits the shot. That was so important. Malta taken out. Now the flank is dealt with. Again, pressure's going to be on towards Hats. And actually, it's turned back the other way. Yekindar gets another kill. Oh, no, this is all falling apart for the Renegades. A minute still on the clock, so there's plenty of time. The casualties have come hot and heavy in this round, and there's the spot on Sicko. He gets the tag, but it's not the kill, and he is the only player on this side of the map. His teammate's isolated. Buster could actually catch this on the mid-exchange. And Hats is going to be the only one surviving. Oh, 1v3. How is this gotten out of control? They had the early advantage. They had the early spacing. Been able to get anything further. Bomb being planted here. Hats wants to commit into the fight. Money to spare because of that clean last round. And then he will take the first. There's another player on site. Knows that because of the play. Has to clear him out. Thinks he might have slipped towards Goose. That doesn't happen. And Buster will polish off the last player to secure round number 6. And again, isolate the 1-round win for the Renegades. Pain coming through here. Only pain. They should be able to drop guns. They should be able to get back into this so it won't completely disrupt the momentum. But you're right. If it continues like this, if we continue to see this seesaw approach, just does not bode well for the boys.
Yeah, I mean, especially on the CP side, on top of it even. On the T side, getting 1 round every like 5 rounds wouldn't be good for you, but here it's just going to never allow that economy really to get into any sort of a stable position. We are seeing the buy at least back in thanks to having lived with 5 in that round that they won before, but it could be a lot better. The nades are not perfect. They even have a FAMAS there on Hats. But for the sake of Renegades, you do hope that they're going to be able to fight back in, but no, they wanted some aggression. They were hoping to kind of counteract the lack of nades by taking some early control around the long house. But Malta is punished for it. He was all on his own, a bit like an island, I guess.
A bit like an island. Overswept by the tides of rising sea levels. You know, seashore erosion. It's a big issue here. It's tough to survive if you're an island these days.
Yeah, well, I mean, I live on one.
The fisheries are failing. You live on a pretty substantial island, though. Like,
oh, yeah,
if you're on an island the size of Ireland, I think you're all right. There might be a few more people on your island. I'm talking like a, well, I guess like a Malta, if you will. Pressure coming in, a little bit of approach, and some long control.
Populated, rather.
I know, but I wanted to make the joke on his name. It didn't actually make
Beautiful
sense.
Country
I
as well.
said. You're killing me here. I haven't been. I would love to.
Weird fact, they asked the UK to annex them in the 50s.
I'm gonna need to know the
You
history about that, but this isn't the time. Sicko is about to hit his shot. He gets one, but he needs more, and that will not be available. Blinded or no, Yekindar can line him up beforehand. Insto. Oh, knows he's so close to getting the plant of the boost over the smoke. Doesn't quite work out. It was a lovely idea, but not quite executed. And with Yekindar getting 2, that's the round over. Haas just has to back out and save what little he has. Famas going to get chased. Yekindar, no mercy. Now his position is known, and they're not going to let him keep this. They have no interest in letting him keep this gun. They've got money to burn, and he will not survive. Oh, will he?
He has an idea.
Coming from both angles. He needs eyes in the back of his head. There's the kill. There's the finisher. There's the 7th round for VP. All right, so Malta annexed by the UK. What's going on
yeah, I can't remember the exact story, but there's history videos on it. It was weird. They were obviously part of British territory, I believe, at some point, and rather than like release them, the Malta apparently wanted to be annexed. I don't know. Small island, probably just easier that way. But eventually, it took a couple of years. It was put off, and then Malta were like, "No, we don't want that anymore." So. It was just a small thing I had heard before. Thought it was interesting. Would have been strange.
I want a series of videos that are just you doing like 30-second, very quick summaries of historical events, strange historical events.
That's all I could give you. Just random things I've seen on the internet, yeah. Oh, we're getting the smoke so they can move up on short. It is obviously only pistols again for Renegades, so 8-2 likely to score before we see them have a chance of fighting back in again. Not even really much in terms of the upgraded pistols here. Hats is going to try and push through tunnels. He's the only man who's put the money in towards the Kevlar, but it's probably not going to go to a lot of use unless he's able to get into position before his teammates continue to fall. Although he could potentially catch Buster off guard and lower, yeah. He is beginning to shift his attention back, realizing obviously there is a potential that this tunnel push could be coming in. But if the patience is there for Hats and if they decide to move back in this direction, he could definitely catch them off guard.
Silence hangs in the air as the gentle bombing. Now the mollies follow, and death comes behind them. Kicker. He's collecting bodies. Smoke's over, util hit. Can Ins get lucky here and catch somebody as they come through? He's playing a lottery. But none of his numbers are being called. He will eventually connect with the head of Sanji, and Sanji actually had quite a bit of health there, so that's good damage done. Hats finds one on the flank. This is getting a little risky. It's a 3-on-3. They haven't got the bomb down yet. 15 seconds to go. You got to be getting a bit nervous if you're a Virtus.pro fan. They have left this one to the clock. Unfortunately for Ins, James is not exposed to the elevator shop. The Kikuli not going to be available for him. Hats try something. Ins will bring it down to a 1v2. It's an expensive round. Fortunately for VP, they don't really care. At this point, we're late enough in the half. They have enough money that they're not terribly concerned about that. They take round 8, and they deny Renegades an upsetting moment.
Yeah, that's the issue. It doesn't even really matter right there. It was a decent eco in the overall aspect, but it's not going to cause damage.
You know, we were discussing the history in the island of Malta. Apparently, he's working on a goose breeding business. He's got a goose egg. Big old goose egg. Would like to crack that one.
He's not having a good time at the moment. He's got those assists, though, so he couldn't be James Bond, unfortunately. So he has at least been helping out with some damage. But yeah, slow starts, they happen. We're in round 11, so we would like to see him stepping up soon. And maybe this is the round that it's going to be needed in, because they've actually lost Ins early on. He'd been boosted up on short, I believe. Yekindar, we know he's an incredibly aggressive player, and he decided he just wanted to charge up short this round, and not much was really going to stop him.
That's a pixel angle. Alistair tagged down, not going to hit his own shot in turn. Gonna have to give up the ground as a result. That's mid now wide open for the taking. Will have to be watched from the sights. And they're going to fall back in towards the catwalk. This seems like the default. It's been pretty good about it. Sicko usually does hit one, but if he gets overwhelmed immediately after that, it doesn't do much good. There's the lurk. A molly behind it. Are they going to come through? They are going to come through. They're burning. Nekadar takes a lot of damage. Sicko doesn't quite connect there. He needs this. He needs something to do it, and a molly's going to force him out of his spot. He's got to shift. He's got to dodge. Lead. Yeah, it does have a player towards Goose, but that Goose is cooked. 2 players drop in the same exact moment, and Sicko is 1. Now with only 2 players surviving, the bomb going a lot of time to spare, but it's just Hats remaining. His position is known, he is damaged, and he will not be left. They are chasing with a fury. 9 rounds for VP. This half just going from better to best. They're slaughtering right now.
Yeah, it's it's not going too well. Hats is not having a good time either. He's living the life of the B anchor, being left alone in a lot of these rounds, which is no hope of really being able to do anything. And it's never a fun position to be in. Pistols again, double digits likely to come in just a moment for VP, and yeah, it feels like we're looking towards this quick 2-0 right now. If you were to ask me which of our games today would be the 2-0, it wouldn't have been this one, in my guess, at least if I was to say one of them could go to the 3 maps. Obviously, Vizsla impressed us in that previous game, despite falling short of actually picking up the overall victory. But yeah, Renegades are just not really getting themselves into the second map at the moment at all.
It's kind of what we expected, especially when we saw the veto. It's so tough. This VP team is ferocious. They've got tons of firepower. Lots of utility coming over here. Control of the tunnels. And they know they can abuse this util because there's really none on the other side. A couple flashbangs to allow for a peek. We're probably going to see one of those flashes deployed right here. 2 pistols will come around the corner. And a molly means they're going to have to slow down. Take a lot of damage and back right off of that. Never mind. Try again next time.
Yeah, and Yekin there just going to lead a charge out B now. Does spot the... No, he didn't spot the player in the back of the bomb site initially. Doesn't matter. He had full trust that Buster was going to be the one to go ahead and cover him anyway. to see if he could spot anything happening outside the doors. Didn't initially. Alistar though then popping in, able to take one kill at least as they're crossing over. But yeah, once the bomb goes down here, with no kit, with just pistols across the board for Renegades, there is not very much they can do to actually win this round. But they are getting a couple of kills. The only thing is, again, as we've mentioned, the economy is in a position where it just doesn't really matter anymore. Unless they were to pretty much take out everyone for a couple of rounds, then there's not really any damage that's going to be done to VP, to their economy rather, that's going to matter to them. But yeah, Sicko alone. Anyone going to peek in? Maybe a weapon to take away would be nice. A Deagle, not quite what I meant. Straight over what he had previously. But there we go, 10-2. The round goes as expected anyway.
It was technically a weapon, you know? It gives them something. It is a weapon, not the weapon that you were hoping for. Sanji with that Krieg, he's been good. He has been good. This is, again, it's similar to Vertigo. We don't see one massive outlier. We don't see one person tracking them down. They're pretty consistent. Actually, James has been their most quiet player, which is usually a pretty good sign for the VP side, and we'll probably switch if we get to the half. 20 rounds to run. Thought that tag was on. X-ray a bit.
Yeah, so did I.
Not gonna connect. Would have been nice if I was talking about him and he feels good as a caster when those moments line up. The stars chart a path for you. There's gonna be a jump in towards pit, very possibly. I don't know that they've confirmed it's clear just yet. Crashing in the tunnels, he is full blind. Decided to just wait for it, and Alistar goes forward, gets that kill, shuts down this side of the map. Nice, timely aggression from the Renegades, but now they have to hold on. It doesn't help if you know where the players are. If you can't, kill them. The run boost works everything. Sicko, now he's down. He's down. The bomb is going to come through the smoke. This is a bit of desperation, but that confirms the bomb. Takes a man advantage back and might set ins up for a peek from the platform. These players are continuing to fight for this. Love to see it. Damage done on the Buster, but it's not a confirmed kill. We still have the bomb. And 50 seconds to play with. More tickle damage out onto James, and they will play with the Bogdan's Law, tossing the AWP on over to Buster for the low HP player to play with. Leave him in pit, maybe approach back through Catwalk. But look at this. They're looking for the flank, and Hats is going to give it to them. Timing will be everything here. He slipped on by. Hats is going to wait and crunch back in. They do have to fight for this bomb, and they know it. Do they have smokes to cover? One. A single Molotov, a single smoke. They're going to run boost for it. This is interesting. Just shot to cover up the sound of dropping off of the run boost. That's something. He's trying to get up on the... Are they failing the run boost or trying to get up on the light fixture? There we go. There's the run boost attempted. Hats takes one, and a second kill comes through, and that shuts down the round. The flank was timely. We were distracted by the attempt at a run boost, but it was ultimately Hats' flank that delivered the critical kill, and that is going to be Renegades finally getting a third.
Yeah, no, I don't think you can get on the light. They were just trying to do the run boost, but it wasn't going well. They weren't even close enough to the corners. You could see initially... Oh, maybe. Initially, he did shoot, I think, to cover the drop knives, but then he started shooting the position on the floor that he wanted him to move to. He was like, no, here, look, right there. That was interesting. Obviously, it didn't go too well for them. Ins with a strong goal. The player's just going to drop it into his crosshair, but Yakandar, straight out long, catches Malta despite the smoke bloom, and he doesn't need vision. As they have, again, a man advantage on the side of VP with full long control. Seeing actually a bit of a gamble here with 3 being stacked around A and with even the B player rotating in to just keep his eye on mid. So he's been entrusted with controlling a very large portion of the map right now.
Yakandar is just one of those players who always seems to have a protractor with him, right? You put a smoke up in his face, he knows the angle, he knows which way he's going to spam, he knew that aggression was coming through from long, he doesn't need to see you, he knows your path to bail out, and that's how he collects that kill. And now he's just a threat in pit, eternal. You can't trust your peek into him. Now, admittedly, both ops are watching this angle, so I don't know that I'd love to take the fight if I were he. But they're going to take Catwalk, and that's going to put pressure on these AWPs, and see if they're going to use the pressure to turn into a diamond, or what was that shot from Yakandar? He looked to be in full motion while he took it, but just deletes the head from his shoulders, and now fall the rest. This is a massacre. Renegades looking to lose another round, and they'll have to back off this. They've got no money to play for the last. They're bailing. They're giving up on it. It's going to be an 11th for VP.
Yeah, completely fair. There is nothing that they could do. It's a 2-on-5 retake. They don't even have a kit in play, unfortunately. So the save is the only real option that they have. And even then, this buy is going to be a bit awkward coming into the following round We'll see exactly what they're going to be able to pull out, but either way, it is going to be a tough one. VP at the moment have a chance to bring it up to 12 rounds. A pretty realistic possibility of coming out with a 12-3 half. And reminder, if you weren't with us before, they are already sitting up by 1. Oh, Hats at least hangs on there with that first kill. Was ready for Yekin there coming around. Low health though. The money is good for VP. They can afford to just keep on hunting this down. Are they going to make it in time though? He's going to have to fight off a couple of players. Gets the first, and yeah, there we go. Okay, they hang on. Nope, never mind.
Died.
Hats doesn't. Yeah,
How
James ends up catching him, and that's a big deal because now he can't drop a rifle. He would have been able to have given an M4 over. Then they would have had a pretty good buy with 4 M4s in play, most likely. It would have just been 1 man left on the weaker weapon. Instead, now it's going to be 3 of them that are forced to go down towards the SMGs, pistols, and a scout for Sicko.
Last possible second that kill came in for James. Last possible second. Reality. Malta's gonna swing with an eagle. That's not really gonna work. Second shot, but it's in through the smoke to do all the damage. He only does get 1, but he may have softened these targets up for Sicko to work his magic with the scout. Magic is what they're going to need. Alistair's coming up on the fast flank. Wants to contain them in towards long, but you can see they're set up for it. It's watching. They know that desperation is going to be on the cards for the Renegades. Oh, Kicker should have this. Alistair coming back in. Here's going to be the kill out towards the longhouse, and it is, in fact, Kicker to take it. So that kill comes through. They've secured the flank at this point. And with Jane plucking Sicko from the site, it's all onto Hats. He has an MP9, and that's it. A molly, a flash, at least a kit, but I don't see a world in which he can take this round. He's certainly going to have to attempt, but this would be the clutch to end all clutches. Bomb makes its way towards site. It will be planted as soon as Virtus.pro make absolutely sure there's nowhere he could be hiding. Now they know where he's at. Bomb has been planted. Sure, you can molly damage. Whatever. Take the fight. Sanji claims it with the Krieg. It's a 12-3 half, and that is brutal. We'll have to see if Renegades can fight back after this break.
Spills your blood, a whisper out fills your head, but you have to fight again. So take one step, take another, find the strength for your brothers. Erase the doubt with your battle cry, with your battle cry. You feel the earth move to the drum of steel boots. Banish the fear inside. You're strong enough that you don't have to hide. No, you don't have to hide. You're strong enough with your battle cry. Brings you to your knees.
Show me an opening in the clouds, and I'll take it. Yeah, reminding myself to just let go Don't wonder how far I can fall. Don't look down, never fade out. And I just wanna be someone and never fall behind again. Just keep on moving on, never look down, never fade out.
And we're back with this second half, and it might just be a quick one, folks. 12-3 is the scoreline as we head into it, and this one's do or die for the Renegades. They have to survive here, take it to a map 3, or they're out of the tournament. Virtus.pro, meanwhile, just trying to finish this out and qualify into the main event. A few rounds, 4 to be exact, all that stand between them and the Katowice group stage.
Yeah, not very far at all to go for VP. They have been fantastic throughout this entire series. Obviously, took a 16-9 on Vertigo, and, well, Dust2 looks like it could be an even more one-sided victory, potentially, unless Renegades get off to that good start here on the T side. Nothing saying they can pull off an equally strong T side, if not even a stronger one, potentially, but it is going to be a tough task, and, well, Sanji is the one at least to kick off the frags here. Ins will pull back the trade, and even a second catches the corner of the head of Kicker coming up the ramp. James able to pull one back, and actually the dinks as they were crossing over are insane. Yekindar continues to take head, and suddenly Sicko is all alone. There's too much for him to handle. Yekindar with a 3k goes huge, and there it is, 13-3, 10 rounds now in the difference, and it's only going to get further apart before we really see the guns come out for Renegades.
Sometimes when you're observing, it just feels like everyone you snap to is suddenly cursed and dead, and that was one of those rounds. Just getting cracked left, right, and center. Yeah, this is dire situation for the Renegades. They're going to take the eco here. They didn't have the bomb plants. They don't really have much to build onto. It's going to be such a little cushion they have. Presumably, they won't be able to bring through this round. It'd be unlikely, but they will certainly try. Obviously, most obvious statement I've probably ever said. But what can they do here? What's the play? Maybe a split on towards B. They don't have a smoke to cover the cross, so that's a bit risky. Yekindar should be able to swing and pepper them down as they move. Though. That's what they're going to do. They're going to try and get past. They're going to try and duel it with a deagle. Which this could work, I suppose. Pressure on in, position in towards mid. Now they've got cat control. Are they going to try to play a spawn? That's so awkward. You got to fight two directions at once. As soon as a swing from the window comes through, Hats takes a bit of damage. They don't deal any back in kind, and now it is going to be a 5-man burst from the catwalk, it seems. They've taken the space, again, with no smoke. There's nothing to cover this off, not even a flashbang. I don't fancy their chances. James sees poise. I'm not sure what he's pulled the pin on. I think that's probably a flashbang to set up his teammate. There's the run boost. That's what they try and go for. There's the flash. There's the swing. There's the peek. And everybody's dying. They're out by Gandalf, but they shall not pass. The nade isn't even there in time. Yekindar takes most of those kills. His teammates get a piece here and there. And it is round 14 for Virtus.pro. They are 2 rounds away from cleaning this up, from closing this out, from taking the clean 2-0, the dominant Dust2. And Renegades are struggling to find any form. Ince, though, individual form. We highlighted him before the game. He is 18-12.
I didn't realize he was taken away by such a drastic amount. I think we had one player on 1 kill. Yeah, it's Malta. We can see he's 1-14 at the moment, having a very tough game. And, I mean, it's reflecting that everyone just isn't showing up at the moment. The fact that they have those 3 rounds only. It should be VP's finish. If they can get it right now, obviously, we are going to see them finish now quickly, 16-3. But even if Renegades manage to come alive here, I'm sure there'll be an eco in the next round, but VP could afford to just go for the 1 eco, then come back onto the guns and try and get back into their winning ways. So this is going to be a tough one. Let's see. The gun round is in. I like how they're doubling up over towards the car at the moment. They seem to be really feeling like it's going to be this B split. And, well, at least looking at the radar, they definitely could be right at the moment. There is at least a couple of players working in towards short for Renegades, so that's going to keep that option open. And yeah, the bomb even going to be joining up with them for now.
Control being taken towards the catwalk. It's going to put pressure onto Yekindar and Sanji. They have been very good when called upon in these situations before. This time there is the utility to actually facilitate a take, and there's going to be a lot of smokes going over. They're going to go for the drop in towards spawn, presumably. Yekindar's actually going to get forward to fight this. Flashbang can dodge them all, and they actually catch their own. Yekindar gets 2. Tracing back through the smoke, he has shut this down. There's a trade on B, but the numbers are dwindling, and they're trying to wrap through from mid. This is going to be disastrous. Has the charge, trying something, but he gets caught from Jame up close, and there's the second as well. Map point found for VP. No bomb plant means no money either for the Renegades. No buy available. They'll, of course, have to try with what they've got. But this one is looking like it's all but wrapped up.
Yeah, and as we said, unfortunately, that means it will be the end of the road for the Renegades. They aren't able to make a ridiculous comeback pretty much happen right now. Yeah, again, that's just elite. The double spam through the smoke, taking 2 kills, and basically shooting Renegades out of the round before they had seen anyone. Peeks around mid. Still need a scout that James up against, so he was happy enough with trying to actually take that fight in the initial moments, but didn't want to stick around, and, well, it's actually Sanji who ends up getting the opening kill on towards Hans. I believe through the smoke on long. Malta, well, he decides they need something drastically right now to pull them back into the round, so he does get that kill up against Pickering on mid. Himself, I believe, pushing through the smoke. And we mentioned Malta's been one of those players who's struggling, so it's good to see him step up here and get the kill, but they're gonna need more from everyone right now.
That they are. That they decidedly are. Looks like they're even maybe setting up for a... Well, a cat play here. I thought for a second they'd be thinking about the run boost. That's not going to happen. Jame, though. He's ready for this. He's got that deadly AWP. Doesn't connect the shot, but Yekendar's there on the flank. He's trying to chase this in. There's multiple players. He's got them all. It's left to Malta. Just a scout in hand. 19 points of health stuck in behind Gandalf, and he's done for. A shot between the eyes to polish him off, and it is 16-3 as Virtus.pro have booked their spot in the IEM Katowice group stage.